Welcome to the Tile Happy Hour. It is a Tuesday evening, and this is the time where we always want to talk about tile. The tile and stone industry, if you've run into us tonight, that is what we're doing. It is the day after Labor Day. I'm hoping that you had a nice and relaxing Labor Day. John Tedesco, did you have a good Labor Day? How are you? And are you rested up?
I'm doing well. Am I rested up? No, because I did stuff around the house all day, but it was all self-inflicted. I could have just chilled out, but I didn't. But it was good. It was a good weekend. Great weather here in New York. Today, Tuesday, it's another nice day today. And it's a little weird because it's like a short week, which is good because that means Friday's coming. But it is only Tuesday night. We have a lot of work to jam in this week, and glad I am here. What about you, Craig? What's going on?
Tuesday was I took it pretty easy today. Cooked pancakes for breakfast. Tried to go to the gym, but evidently the gym was closed early on Labor Day, so it was too many people there, so I wasn't trying to do that. So we went out to eat instead, and it rained yesterday, so everything was just a little soggy. And had dinner, and now today is a normal work day, but I do have the end of the week, I'll be traveling a little bit and on the road, just kind of working from the road this week. So it's going to be weird. I gotta pile a lot in tomorrow so I can get out of town Thursday and Friday.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot happening. Yeah, it was a great day today, meaning, we got a lot of work done. It's kind of like a reset for the year, right? Labor Day comes when you're talking about goals, and you're talking about sales goals. I'm looking at my numbers and seeing where we are, in as far as productivity, and I kind of reset myself, saying, okay, the rest of the year, there's 20 days left of summer, I think, so I definitely want to continue getting.
We haven't gotten the third quarter yet, have we?
No, we haven't. But
okay,
we are. So yeah, now we're cranking though,
Okay. Yeah. I know that. I mean, those of you that have numbers to hit, it can be a little stressfstressful. So
the end of the third quarter comes fast, and then the fourth quarter, and
the fourth quarter is like, it's like light speed. It's like it never happens. The fourth, it starts, and then before you know it, it's New Year's.
Right. So wait, did you say we end? We're in the third quarter now, but I
don't know. Are we? I don't know.
Well, picture the quarter is the year into segments of 3. So
I know how the quarters are segments of 4.
October. I mean, 4. Yeah. So,
but it's 3 months in a segment. Let's not talk about that. October, November, December.
So we're in the third quarter now. So
I'm telling you, with this conversation, we could run for public office.
This is true. Hey, do you have a cocktail going? It is a happy hour.
I don't. I came upstairs because I don't know why. I tried to bake pizza tonight. Have you ever tried to make the dough yourself and all that other stuff? I did that, and I thought it wasn't going to take very long, and it took a lot longer. And when I came upstairs, I had flour all over me, and I jumped in the shower, and I don't have a water. I don't have a drink or anything. I think there may be something up there, but
I'll have a drink for you. It's all right.
Have a drink for me. Have a drink for me. Hey, I was watching Instagram yesterday, and my wife laughs at my Instagram feed and my YouTube feed because hers are full of funny videos, dog and cat videos, and mine's full of all tile stuff. And I was watching this guy, and he had this subway tile, white subway tile, common. You've probably sold 10,000 square feet in your lifetime, if not more.
Just today.
Today. Now, that'd be great if you sold some today. There'd be some happy people. But and then the camera, the way he had it set up, it was a time lapse, and the white tile went up, and then all of a sudden he comes into the screen with this black grout, and I was like, oh my gosh. I watched it and commented on it. Actually, I rarely comment, and I thought to myself, white tile and black grout, I know that is a design choice. I know it looks good, but I guarantee you it was a shower. So it was 3x4, 3x5, floor to ceiling. I guarantee you he went through at least 10 to 12 buckets of water. And when I sent it to him, it was just wiping dark stuff all over this tile, and it ended up beautiful. But he said he threw away all of his sponges, and he lost about 8 sponges, and he did confirm it was 10 plus buckets of water. And I don't know why I thought about that, and I thought about you because you're a design guy. I'm more of a nuts and bolts guy. But did you? When you had clients, were you a fan of the contrasting grout?
So very appropriate conversation. So I'm doing a renovation right now.
Mm-hmm.
And first place, black grout with like a crackled white tile is a disaster unless you want enhanced cracks. But I'm doing a renovation now. And
I thought I had some on there, but no,
you can't see. A full shower, 5-foot shower, white tile, and it's going to be black grout. First time I've ever done it. Black shower frame, black Blanquet corner shelves.
I remember the Blanquet corner shelves fiasco.
Black porcelain floor tile, a wood tone vanity. So it's going to be a white and black bathroom with some wood tones, a little warmth in there. The vanity is a TileBar Cora Geo vanity. It's a wall hung vanity with like a kind of a timbre geometric pattern with a white top. So it's kind of white, black, white faucet, white handheld shower.
White faucet?
Yeah, I meant to say black faucet.
Black faucet. I've never heard of a white faucet.
Black faucet against the white sink. Yeah. Black sconces. But tile guy is coming soon because the job.
Does he know it's black grout?
He's a buddy of mine and he's helping me out. I may have not have divulged that yet because I want him to show up. Hopefully he's not watching. What's up, Andrea? All right, but your conversation, Craig, sparked me. I'm gonna have a ton of sponges like ready to go.
I would go ahead and go get you some sponges and say, man, I got you this for this. Here's your grout. See you later. I got to go to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be. We'll show some pictures.
What is it? A normal subway tile 3x6?
No, it's double.
You said it's crackle.
Yeah, no, it's not crackle.
It's not
the Aruba, which is a 5x10. I like that format. 3x6.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, 3x6 is just with black grout way too busy.
Yeah.
But the black grout, I did it for the look, and I also did it for the maintenance. So the lack of so it's going to be cool.
1/8 of an inch grout joint, maybe, or can you get tighter with that?
I think we can get pretty tight. It's a Spanish wall tile, high quality. It's not a big scale, so it's probably pretty straight. So I would like to be a little less, but black trim, metal trim to edge it, so it's kind of black white with some warmth in there.
Okay, Blanquet trim too, or did you just pick up some locally?
No, Blanquet metal trim.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's all. I'm actually looking at it. I have it all. Like I will tile it in my studio here, ready to go for the tile guys. So that's going to be cool. A lot of some shout outs to Doravit. I'm putting Doravit toilet and Doravit shower base, prefab shower base. Price Vista faucets, so they were helping me out, which was pretty cool. That's and awesome. Everything else is TileBar, TileBar bath product, right? Vanity mirror.
Yes,
and, really, it's gonna be good. Looking forward to it. Hey,
That's cool.
I did mention in there that I have a white and black scene, but I have a wood tone vanity because things are like warming up a lot. Things have warmed up a lot. So I decided to do this kind of Scandinavian look in this whole renovation, not just the bathroom. Like some cool tones mixed with warm tones, like a little modern. And I've noticed that TileBar is actually been really introducing a lot of warm tones, terracottas, beiges, which wasn't that long ago, Craig, where just like white and gray ruled, right? Did you notice?
Yeah.
Did you notice this change?
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before, but I'm always a section behind. White and gray. I guess what's that? That's been 10 years or so. The cool tones. Yeah. Well, of course, we just painted our house white and gray. Now that everything is, going back to possibly warm tones, and it's frustrating. But I tell you, I guess maybe I'm a late adapter. I don't know. I still like the cool tones. I'm a fan of the white and gray. I'm a fan of what you chose, the white and black. I mean, that's classic, and so yeah. But I can't keep up with it. I'm not a design person, like you said. I'm a nuts and bolts dude.
Well, there's this lady. I don't know if you saw her. She's on social media. She's a designer, and she walks through like Home Depot, and she says, "Don't ever get this vanity." She's like filming vanities, and don't ever get that type of product. And she's just critiquing everything in the store. And she probably has a point on some of these things, but first, she's very annoying when you listen to her. And people commenting and like what's in. And people started commenting, well, who are you to say what's in and what's out and all this stuff?
Right.
So I posted something, and this was probably months ago, and it keeps getting hits all the time, likes. I put in whatever you like, out what other people want you to do, so it's really, so Craig, you and your wife always want to do a white and gray, and you finally got around to it, and it happened to be 2024, and that's what you did, and that's fine.
That's right.
Things evolve, and it's classic. It's what is noticeable is that when things were white and gray are still in, but people are adding warm tones. So,
and you can do that, and I think even maybe when we're having our conversation, I don't remember if it was which Allison, our two Allison friends, that said, choose something that is the trendy color. Choose something that's easily changeable, whether that's maybe your towels or your pillows or something like that. And then because those are easily gotten rid of and get more. So I like that idea. I know I'm getting ready to do our master bath not too long, and I'm actually gonna. Since I'm not the designer you are, I'm going to use our our DAG team. Is that it?
Yes.
And let them design it for me and tell them, hey, here's what here's my bedroom that my bathroom is adjacent to. Here's what I like. Go for it.
Yeah. So TileBar's DAG team.
What does that stand for?
So I know the D is design and G is group.
Advanced design, advanced group. I was going to say guild. I was like, that sounds really fancy.
I don't know. I can't remember what it is.
But yeah, I thought and I actually had a friend of mine that called me and said, hey, Craig, can you help me design? And I was like, no, I can't. And I sent them to Kiki, who is, I think she was our first DAG rep. And what an awesome thing to offer that. I don't think TileBar charges anything for that. They just will design your bathroom and in hopes that you buy all your material from us.
Yeah. So we have a bunch.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's one of the things we offer. If somebody doesn't have a designer, doesn't have an architect, and they want some design input, then we have some staff that are experienced in design, and they can give you some kind of virtual help and take you from concept to completing an order to put through. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really
it is neat, especially for those of us who are design challenged, to say the least.
Well, at least it's
That's right.
It is when and you don't, because otherwise you're gonna go through with something that may be bad. So you have to get advice. It's like when you go to the home centers and you'd rather get no advice than the wrong advice. You get some guy just the flag man telling you how to do some plumbing work. And you're like,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know where you're watching from tonight, but we broadcast live on Instagram, sometimes YouTube, LinkedIn, and all of those comments are gone through. And John, think it was, I don't know if it's weird since it was a long weekend. It was either Friday morning or Saturday morning. I got an email from one of the listeners of the Tile Happy Hour that thanked us for our sealer conversation that we had, gosh, I don't know, months ago. And they said they went to the home store, and their words, not mine, the guy there had no idea what he was talking about. And I wanted to reach out to you to see if you could help. So I love that. And we read those comments. And just so you know, if you have design questions, that'll more on John's end. If you got technical questions, I'll be glad to help. And they were concerned about patio, exterior patio sealers.
Right. Yeah. You can't expect somebody at a home center to have all the knowledge, and people go there thinking that these people are trained in so many specifics. Like, that is a real specific question, a specific product, and a very specific application and an environment that's different than others. And people in the industry sometimes have to stop and think about it. So be really careful. So if you don't remember what Craig and I say on the Tile Happy Hour, read our comments, watch previous shows. My general suggestion is go to a tile store, go to a professional in town, because they have trained people. Whatever store it is, you're 1,000% better going to an electrical supply house or a plumbing supply house or a tile store and ask a question related to that field. When home centers opened, they really did in the beginning, like when they were trying to get a foothold in many communities where they weren't previously, they would hire, ex tile guys, ex plumbers, ex electricians, and those guys were literally stationed in those aisles, and they did have. It was really cool, but that is long gone. Like I said, you got the flag man, working the paint counter, and
that's right,
and people coming in asking, very specific questions, and you have to go to a professional. That's what I would recommend.
Absolutely. And of course, reach out to us. We love to help you. And you can follow John at John Tedesco on Instagram, me at the Tile Nerd Army on Instagram. Send me a question, send John a question. We'd be happy to get to you. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, send us a question there too. We read them all.
Hey, have an old school Tile Happy Hour segment, Craig. Today is National Blueberry Popsicle Day, National Cucumber Day, or National Italian Ice Day.
I'm betting it's National Cucumber Day.
That's a good one. That's what I had for lunch, actually. Cucumber, tomato, and fresh mozzarella salad with vinegar and oil and oregano, all fresh.
I've got 3 cucumbers in my refrigerator that I've been planning on making something with, and I haven't done it yet.
How about tzatziki sauce?
I've never made tzatziki sauce. Today I did make fresh pico de gallo for an appetizer, and it was really good.
English cucumbers are usually better, but anyway, get a regular cucumber, peel out the seeds, dice it up. You gotta peel it. Some garlic, some lemon, Greek yogurt. Mix it all up, and you have tzatziki sauce. Get instructions somewhere, but those are really the ingredients. It's really just
that's easy. Yeah,
we have to read up on it, and I would do that. It's much better than. Well,
I've been struggling this weekend. This is off the subject, off anybody's topic, but everybody loves food. We all have to eat. My family, we've been trying to go not organic because of but a lot of things we've been reading. We're trying to get away from processed foods,
right?
And so I've purchased 2 different vegetable slicers. It'll cube your and I almost cut my fingernail off today, just trying to clean it. It was terrible, but the pico, minus the little bit of O negative that was in it, was great.
It's called Pinko de Gallo. You got your pinky de Gallo.
But
let's talk about tile, maybe. So
let's talk about tile.
So this whole trend of warmth is being realized in our company, in the TileBar company. And if a new color comes out, we're not like a paint company where you just add a little pigment. You have to plan way ahead of time to purchase products that are that are spot on trend wise, and we have done that. And you notice it actually says seasonal shift. It's really not a seasonal shift. I don't necessarily agree with the wording there. It's more of just a trend that's going on, a fad.
But we are changing seasons.
No, it's true. But tile, you don't change tile with the seasons. So it just happens to be that warm is in, and we're changing seasons to the fall. But if you scroll down a little, you'll see.
Should I click on that? Is that what you're shopping out?
Yeah, click on that.
Now, and let's elaborate on what you were saying.
Yeah.
So if not a seasonal change, but this color change, as we move from those gray and white tones to the warmer tones, to hit that right, you've got to think about that, John. I mean, what, a year in advance, 6 months in advance? How far ahead of the curve are we having to kind of try to plan the trend, if that makes sense?
Well, I mean, probably 6 months to 8 months, easy, maybe a year. And it's not. See, the factories that we align ourselves with are really tuned in because they have to do research and development. So, for example, one of our products never came, like the division tile. Straight, if you scroll down a little in the middle.
Yeah.
Division tile originally didn't have a clay beige; it had other colors. So once they realize that a trend is happening, or there's a gap in the product line, they have to do R&D. They have to figure out how to make the colors they want, test it, get all the raw ingredients. So the factories spend a lot of time getting into it, and that's a good example. So you'll see there's a whole bunch of colors. That division is pretty cool.
I love the division series. It's so unique because of its textured look, but it also has these are like pre-scored grout joints, which gives it another unique look. And I think
so it's an 8-inch by 16-inch tile when you're installing it. But in that 8-inch by 16-inch tile, there's grooves. There's 3 vertical grooves, I believe. And those vertical grooves divide the tile up into 4, kind of like quarters. And and then the grout falls into that space, just like it falls into between the actual tile. So anyway, after saying all that, it looks like you installed a 4-inch by 8-inch tile. And so it's just why do that? The main reason is it keeps the cost down, and it's easier to install, I believe, and that's a pretty cool graphic. Pretty cool.
I tell you, our team did a great job with these. And there's even, look at that.
Yes. Can we play that?
Again, I don't know that the sound will come through. Yeah.
All right. You look like Devo.
I mean, I could play it, but it's coming on the.
Amazing! It looks great.
I can hear it.
If you don't plan ahead, you can run into a couple of issues. If you don't know, you're afraid.
Oh, so anyway, this is the old 3D theme.
Yeah, the whole 3D theme. There should be another one that it's actually on that tile. But once again, a great product that, like you said, was originally in this anthracite color, the aqua, the blue, and the white. And I think, we recently added the clay because of the, as we're calling it, the season change, but really that kind of that change in those tonal colors.
Yeah. So check out the Terravila. Now, Terravila, just that whole series is warm.
New.
Yeah, Terravila is a new series, sand beige, terracotta look.
And is it terracotta look, or is it actually terracotta?
It is. I think it's actually terracotta.
It is actually. Well, it says why you'll love it. Authentic handmade terracotta.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
That is so. Now we talk about your black and white being classic, but really in certain parts of the world, this is the classic tile.
Yeah.
You think of New Mexico, Mexico, Spain. This is everywhere.
Yeah. Southwest of the United States, never really lost that. Like it kept it to some degree.
Right.
In the Northeast, for example, it was trendy. It really was a trendy item to do for years. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, people doing terracotta floors, 12 by 12, having it beeswaxed or whatever they did to it. So this is a little more refined.
It's not much more refined. Look at these edges on this.
Maybe not aesthetically refined, but I think the way it's produced, because some of the original Saltillo tile is like baked out in the sun in someone's backyard, and you get like coyote footprints and chicken footprints,
exactly.
and
exactly.
So
I really want some chickens, John. Just to throw that out there. This is really cool. So that's a real terracotta tile. Then we have some other products, kind of like the division where we've introduced warm colors. So for example, the Barriano is a cool tile. So it's a just really nice 3-dimensional 6x16 fluted 3-dimensional. Now what I find cool is that I think this is a porcelain, which can you scroll back? Can you go back the other way to the beginning? Porcelain tile. See, originally, tiles with dimensions like that could only be made in a ceramic tile. So we figured out a way to make that in a porcelain with that heavy dimensional look. There's a white and a black, and this cooked color, which is really cool. Yeah, grouting it is probably once again going to be a little bit of a task, but doable. And you got a little bit of grace because it's porcelain. Should be able to clean it pretty.
So how are you grouting it where those two bands touch each other?
Really, you're making your grout a little loose, and then you're keeping it off out of the ridges best as possible. I mean, this is even one I would even tape it off and try to grout it.
Right.
It depends on the texture of the tile. Even though it is a porcelain, sometimes porcelains will have texture on them, and it'll be a little difficult to get the grout off. But I think the trick and the danger with this one, because these flutes are kind of large, if you see here, would be washing out the grout in the raised part of the flute. You don't want to do that. So I would actually let the grout set up maybe a little longer than normal, and to make sure you're not washing it out of that raised area.
So what you're saying is, I mean, theoretically, you want the grout to be below the tile surface to whatever degree it's supposed to be, evenly in the high spot of the tile and the low spot of the tile. So that is tricky. So you're definitely not taking your float and spreading it across this tile.
No, you're actually grouting and maybe it's I don't know. Maybe you take and cut your float a little bit so it fits in between those little joints. I don't know. But it would a little tricky, a little extra time, and as long as you let your installer know ahead of time, make sure they know what they're getting into. You should be able to make it happen. Or
don't if you want them to show up.
That's right, or don't if you want them to show up. But yeah, I would definitely see that the possibility of washing out the grout in the high parts to where it would be the same level as it is in the low parts, and that not looking that being an issue. So I definitely would want to make sure we
almost
discuss that.
I mean, the good thing is they're 16 inches long, so there aren't a tremendous amount of spaces go vertically, right? If you're doing that on a knee wall part of the way up, you only have a couple of tiles. You're going all the way up, you have a handful of tiles, 6 tiles, something like that. But it's not for the novice. It's not for the faint of heart.
Right. Yeah.
All right. That's a cool tile. Love it.
That is a cool tile. That reminds me. I don't know if I know you've traveled, but where you've traveled and I've traveled may be different. But the way the tile looks, it reminds me of some of the terracotta building blocks that houses are made in South America.
Oh,
okay. When you go down to South America, you see some of those terracotta blocks, and that's what this kind of reminds me of.
You know what I like
Neat.
about it is it's a traditional color, but it's kind of more of a modern pattern tile. So it's kind of a mix. Love it. Really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a great tile. Is that a new
Yeah.
new arrival?
Yeah, it's one of our newer products for sure. Scroll down a little, keep going. You'll see. I mean, there are definitely some warm tones, but let's focus on the real warm stuff right there. Some more Terravilla. You don't have to click on that. The Parma is a really cool tile because it has two formats that kind of make a pattern, right? The X and a star, sort of, we call it. And there's a bunch of colors, and you'll see there's a kind of a brown and there's a terracotta. I guess this brown is kind of taupe. It's called taupe, I think. And this color is really nice. I like that.
Yeah. What's crazy is we were watching something. Oh, I think we were watching a new movie last night. And there was a cool camera shot that shot through a design wall, and it was this pattern. It wasn't in tile. It wasn't in tile, but it was like a wrought iron. But it was the star and cross pattern. And I was like, hey, we got that tile, tile nerd. You see your tile everywhere. Which, this pattern's not new. This pattern is probably ancient, but it's really cool and really effective, especially in these warm colors.
Yeah, I could picture. That's a whole nother conversation. The origin of patterns, and like a Greek key is a classic example. And this pattern, I would bet, was probably a Zeely tile originally, some sort of this is a cool. We should do a segment on like patterns and history of patterns, but that is super cool. Now if you get delivery and we only send you like one by accident, you're really screwed. Because you can imagine a whole palette of X's. It's a lot of crap.
Yeah. Now this is what, if you saw the episode with our friend Nathan, this is the tile that he used for his personal shower.
And he did some funky things like the knee wall.
Yeah.
And figured out.
I think he had this color, this Kato color.
Yeah. Probably did. Well, is this the taupe or is this the terracotta?
This is the Kato.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The taupe was the one we were just
looking at, right? Okay. The picture down below looked. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I like the taupe a little better because it's not as committing, because the terracotta color is more orange.
I agree. I agree with you. I like this one a little better.
It was really nice. So let's see what else we got going on.
That one's a hot seller, isn't it? Isn't there a pretty big demand for that?
There really is. Santa Monica. Wait a minute. Did we add a warm tone to Santa Monica? Ivory beige. No, that's kind of that's been around. We have the Kinro, which is really cool. Kinro comes in some cool colors, but that brown, that golden brown, is really rich. I mean, that's a beautiful tile. Dimensional. That
is straight out of 1978, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very. It
just reminds me of
It's like Austin Powers.
Yeah, see somebody with a fern hanging in front. I don't know. It just reminds me of my childhood.
Very nice. Of course, we have natural stone. So here's some good examples. Keep going. The 5x5. The Born. So the Born. So the Born is a real interesting tile. First place, it's a 5-inch porcelain. At first glance, you would think it's a ceramic, because ceramics traditionally are like, where originally 4-inch tiles, 5-inch tiles, but it is a porcelain, so it allows for a lot of performance benefits. But look at that range. That range is deliberate, folks. Like, you pay extra for that range. It's like torn jeans.
It's all in one box.
Yeah. Now, if that was a tile that was not meant to be rangy, that would be like 7 different options. That would be right.
That was all 7 shades.
So if somebody buys this and then needs more, like a year later, do we have to worry about dye lots?
That's a possibility, but not as much as you would that color in solid color. Now, does Jason Bourne have anything to do with this?
Yes, he gets royalties for that.
Okay. Exactly. Just wondering.
Really nice. What's that click and hold do?
I don't know. I keep trying it and it doesn't do anything. I think you're supposed to be able to rotate it. But,
probably what it is.
But once again, probably my computer's messed up.
Yeah.
But I keep. But yeah, that's neat, and it's got some cool colors too. You know, if you don't want to go with the warm colors.
Yeah, all the other colors are cool, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this green. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's
nice.
a really sage is a cool color that really transcends a lot of different styles. That could be into a modern, could be into traditional. Yeah, love that. Look at that range.
It's good. Great tile for hospitality. I don't know why. I mean, I just
I guess in hospitality you could be a little more daring, a little busier.
Yeah.
So you want to draw attention because if you're gonna do something super plain, like just paint it, in some ways. But it has good performance and being a porcelain, and has.
So look at this;
really
they're using it as a floor tile, also.
Yeah, it is a porcelain. So
yeah, I'm guessing it's got the DCOF too.
Yeah, it has a pretty good finish on this tile.
Let's go to the nerd section.
So when you're on the TileBar website, you'll find the DCOF, which is dynamic coefficient of friction, and I don't see it here.
Yeah. You got the PEI rating, which is kind of your.
Yeah, so it has the brand. I mean, remember some of these images are kind of renderings. This is not meant for super heavy duty shopping mall floor. Do we have shopping malls anymore? Do you have shopping malls?
I mean, not really. I don't think so.
That's crazy. Let's see what else we got.
No floor use. Yeah.
So we noticed a bunch of warm colors. Let's see what else we have happening here.
I mean, the Portmore. Can we sell any more of that? I mean, good gracious.
Oh my goodness! So that's actually that's notable. You got to click onto that. So Portmore is kind of meant to be like a Geely tile, like original, like handcrafted tile, and it is a ceramic tile. Never made in this color. This color is a sand, so this was recently introduced.
Yeah.
And one of those also that have a lot of range. Now, I have a little problem here. Go back up a little. So see the picture with the little bowl? I mean, the tile has a lot of range. Why does it have to have stripes in it? You should blend that a little. I mean, the tile guy could theoretically, these tiles are mixed in boxes. So he should be able to, like, with his eyes closed, just pull a tile out and put it up and have a range. But I kind of feel like could have done better there. He really did pull it. He did close his eyes on that one.
Yeah.
Now
this
right there.
Is this offset? That's square tile and an offset pattern.
Yeah. So some people call it a brick pattern, which is really not appropriate, but it is appropriate. A brick pattern is usually a rectangular tile.
Yeah.
Installed like a brick. This is a square tile installed like a brick. So called a brick pattern. That even makes it. Yeah, I would agree with you. You know what? Also, I really not a big fan of at all is taking a subway tile, installing it vertically.
Yeah, you've told me that before. I'm okay with that more than I am this. Oh, look at that! Give you some pattern options. It's 4. You have 4 pattern options.
Yeah, and the one on the left is the same on the right, just going different direction, I guess.
Yeah, I guess just showing. Yeah.
All right.
Giving people some ideas. But Portmore is, I get it's one of our best selling wall tiles, and it's also in different dimensions, correct?
Yeah, so we have a square, and we do have a subway. So if you really want a subway, let's get a subway tile. Comes in a 3x8, which is cool. It's not a 3x6, so it's a little more elongated. So I love that. Really super nice. Let's see what else we got going on. The tilebar.http //
So there's the Portmore again.
TileBar.com. Manchester is an existing line.
Caravilla, that's the same thing we looked at earlier, just in a different format.
Yeah. Oh, so some more.
Look at that. That looks like I am thankful they installed it that way on the Cavallo.
Oh,
you see how
irregular
it's showing you that, hey, these are not square tiles.
Yeah. So how would it's important for people to know, what you're getting, and you want to manage expectations. And our website does a good job on that. If somebody really wanted to have the corners line up a little more, you could do it, but you have to do what with the grout?
You got to open up that joint.
Yeah.
So, it looks like they're trying to install it with like a 1/16 of an inch grout joint. You open that up to an 1/8, and it makes that installation look uniform. But
I think that's deliberate in that picture. Like you want it.
I think so
more
too.
Like a handmade tile. I did use this tile in the turquoise color on the 4th floor of the Virgin Hotel, just outside the pool area. There's a whole restaurant area, and we did the 7x7 in the turquoise color, and really super nice. And it doesn't look as irregular as this. They put a bigger joint. In commercial applications, they usually don't have the homeowner looking over the tile guy's shoulder saying, put it the grout smaller. So the tile guys put a little more grout space, and it looks good.
Yeah. And then once like you said, that the key to that is managing expectations.
Yeah.
And, a quality tile installation company is going to say, hey, listen, do you want it to look random and kind of handmade? Then we can go this. But if you want it to look uniform, we need to widen it up. And
exactly,
that's a good time to do a dry layout, which is what we talked about last month in our technical training, and or do a mock-up and showing it that way. But I just appreciate that, because there's a lot of times homeowners, installers, and even some tile setters will say, I'm trying to set XYZ tile like this, and I can't get the joints to line up. And I'll actually refer them back to the website and say, well, if you notice on our website, we didn't set it that tight because the tile is limited, because every tile is different, and some are made to, you look at this close up here, you see the imperfections in the face of the tile, and that is intentional. Right.
Exactly. I think our Portmore has like little spots once in a while, and people mention it looks like it's like if you want a tile that doesn't have that, we have that. You just got to know what you're getting. Some tiles are pretty. So while we're looking for the next hot tile, this is the Tile Happy Hour. Craig and I broadcast usually Tuesday nights, usually live, and be live or be an encore presentation here, or recorded or pre-recorded. You can always comment if you're watching this on social media. So just comment, send us a private message, or send us a message right on that platform that you're watching, and we'll be glad to respond. You have a technical question, if you want to just give Craig a compliment or something like that, you absolutely can do that. We love tile. Today we're talking about warm tones. It was very appropriate where you happen to just talk about the white and black, and I'm bringing in. So what I'm doing actually is 2 bedrooms are being done with a gray paint, a light gray and a darker and a warm gray on the walls, a feature wall in a kind of a warm gray. And the other walls, the main color is a light gray, Benjamin Moore number 1591. The feature wall is 1600. And the floor is TileBar LVT in a wood tone. So
I believe it's kind of almost like my office.
Probably so.
I got gray walls, and I got TileBar LVT wood tone on the floor.
Yeah. So
you copied my design.
I did copy your design. That's the only reason for this podcast. I've been trolling you just to get your design.
Just to see what's going on. What's going on?
Man.
Well, John, we mentioned last week, and I want to get your opinion on next month's training. Last month's training we talked about layout.
Yeah.
Next month, I've had a lot of questions, and I don't have my best lens on, but I've had a lot of questions about microsaics. You familiar with?
What did you say? Microsaics or micromosaics?
It's and I even say this, in the video that accompanies my training, is I'm pretty sure we made up the word microsaics.
I like it. What size are those chips? Those like 3/8, or I can't tell.
These chips are. I think they're I'm pretty confident they're 3/8.
Wow.
But the question, what do you think the question I get the most is?
The grout joints. Do they?
Yes.
Something about the grout joints.
Absolutely. And this panel is not grouted, but you see how tight they are together. And
yeah,
that is the question I get is, what do I do about grout? I don't need to grout this. And even though the joints are tight, you need to grout it. And I love this little video here where they actually fold it over.
I haven't seen that. That's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. So it is very tight together. It's a 12 by 12 sheet, and like John said, there's two things about it that are very important. It is all stone, so therefore you must treat it like stone, and it needs a grout release. It needs to be pre-sealed, and it needs to be sealed afterwards. And it does need grout. Now the key to the grouting this is using a non-aggregate grout. When you use a non-aggregate grout, it will get down into those very small joints, and it'll solidify your installation.
Yeah, go back to that video. If that's a 12-inch tile, man, that's a really small person holding that thing. Oh, I see. Okay. Before I didn't see the arms on the bottom. I just saw a top, so it looked like somebody was like standing behind it. It looked like it was like 7 feet. I didn't see the arms coming up. And all right, never mind.
Okay. And it does have some warm tones to continue with our thing. But yeah, John and I try to stay on topic or on trend with what's going on trendy wise, but we also want to stay on to our technical. We want to learn as much as we can. And when there's new products out there, sometimes there's some tips and tricks that go with them. And we try to get our TileBar team on top of those, so that when you, the consumer, has a question, we have an answer for you. And we don't know everything, but we can find it for you and give you some tips.
We could stall long enough to look up the answer.
I tell my team all the time, I said, I know how to type it into Google better than you.
That's right. Exactly. It goes hand in hand, the technical and the design part. You can have a really cool tile, like some of those 3-dimensional tiles, but if you grout it wrong, you're going to wish you never bought it. So you have to grout it properly. Those micro mosaics, you can't show up with sanded grout, and try to, besides scratching the surface of the marble, you're going to not get the grout into the joints. Of course, you don't have to worry about that with permacolor from Latacrete, because it goes from a 1/16 of an inch to 3 feet wide. What is that? How wide is that?
Yeah, it goes out to a 1/2 inch, but these are even smaller than the 1/16. So you would want to use the Permacolor NS, which is the Permacolor Select with a non-sanded base, and it has no aggregate in it. So it's it's like a creamy liquid, and it gets between everything.
So Permacolor, even though it technically doesn't have sand, but it has some sort of aggregate, as small as it is, it has something. So I learned something. So NS is a non-aggregate. And are we recommending that just for this? Is there anything else we would recommend that for?
The Permacolor NS, yes. This and some of our water jet patterns. We have some of those pre-installed water jet patterns, and those joints can get less than a 1/16. And this will work really well there too.
I'm thinking like mother of pearl, somebody's mother of pearl stuff, or no grout whatsoever. Basically, they're touching. And people get excited about it. They're like, wow, so I have no grout, but yes, you do. And then you also have between each sheet, which gets a little tricky, because if the 12-inch tile has very little grout, you want to get the next sheet as close as possible, so you don't have a grid effect where you could say, oh, there's a 12-inch tile, there's a 12-inch mosaic. It is a little tricky. you want to get a quality installer for sure. So make sure you have the budget to get it installed properly. Absolutely, all these products can be installed where it looks phenomenal in the end. You just need to, some of these aren't DIY, types of products.
I think
You
that's
really need to-
DIY, but yes, agreed.
I always do that, DIY. We're gonna come up with a saying with that.
Do
saying.
yourself it.
Do it yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yes, yeah, and the cool thing or the dangerous thing about products like the micro mosaics and the mother of pearl, just like you said, you think that it doesn't need the grout, but nothing is square. Nothing is, even though these are somewhat precision cut, is still natural. You want to fill those gaps with something, because if you don't, it's not like it's going to fall off the wall, but then it's going to be filled with dirt, grime, soap suds, something. You'd rather fill it with something that is going to last and hold your installation together.
I've had some designers in my lifetime say, I'm doing like a fireplace wall up to the ceiling and I'm not going to put grout. So yes, you won't have a moisture issue. You won't have water.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up a point of dust or dirt accumulating in there. I mean, it's not likely, but it's possible. So, it depends on the product. You know what? I think I could recall it was like a ledger stone that's super rough and super, just really, almost really difficult to grout. And they wanted that kind of rustic look. And quite frankly, if some dirt got in there, it would look just like the surface of the tile. So it was no big deal, so...
We're actually doing a technical training on products that don't need grout.
LVT.
Well, yes.
Did I get
tile and stone products that don't need grout.
I thought that was a quiz.
But yeah, you're right. Like products like this, are made to fit really tight together. They're actually, if you look at the back of them, they're bonded. Bonded with epoxy on the back.
Between each tile.
But between each tile, you're trying to set them as tight together as you can. But I always advise a team, whoever's buying it, to get a grout that matches it, because you're gonna have some types of material or some areas that are not gonna fit correctly. So maybe you just mix up a little grout and you go and finger grout the whole thing after you've done.
Right.
But we have several series that are actually grout is gonna cause. Here's the one that I get the question on the most. Grout that's going to cause more trouble than it's worth, and you just can't grout that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
you're not putting that in your shower.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not. But
that's like a pebble stone, but stacked. What do we call it? Say stacked. What's it called?
I think it's a stacked stone is the way you call it. Yeah. But so we're actually doing a class on that in January. January 2025.
And while I'm saying you're not putting that in your shower, I see a shower door in that picture.
That's a shower head in there. So I guess
that's really a robe hook, folks. That's not a shower head.
If you've known me very long, I'm not a big fan of any type of stone in showers. To me, it's more trouble than it's worth. I know for some places, especially up where you're from, the Hamptons and all that, it's a status symbol to have stone showers. But I'm telling you, the maintenance, I can't afford the maintenance for it.
Right. So, people think of maintenance, meaning like some things don't necessarily need the maintenance, but if you want it to look like it did from day one, then you do need to maintain that. So a natural stone, like a leather couch, can wear or show some age to it, and so there are ways to keep it looking like day one. But if you're okay with it weathering and whatever, it doesn't necessarily need routine maintenance. But if you want it to, if your expectation is that you want it to look like, the day one, then you do need maintenance. And that maintenance is maybe a special, particular cleaner that's made for that could, be productive when you're cleaning, but not damage the stone at the same time, right? It needs to be effective. But then you also need to protect the stone from etching or whatever from too harsh of a cleaning substance. And then you want to seal it. So you may need to seal it every 6 months or every year, depending on the product, depending on the stone, and depending on the sealer. So yeah, some of those things do call for maintenance. Yes, tile, ceramic, porcelain has none of those issues at all whatsoever. So there is sometimes a snob factor, like, hey, I have a $10 million home or a $1 million home and I want marble, and that's fine. Or sometimes people just want it because, as good as tile is in replicating natural materials, still you can't compare it to nature. I mean, natural stuff just inevitably is just it's just limitless on the range and the variation. So, but you have to really balance. And also, a natural stone probably costs more than a tile, a porcelain or a ceramic. Probably costs more to install. It costs more to maintain. In the end, it's beautiful, but just know what you're getting. And if you're not going to install it properly, and if you're not going to maintain it, then you might as well get a porcelain or a ceramic so it looks the same from day one and day 10 or 20. Would you agree, Craig Cahoon? We lost the audio. He's out of words. We're at the tail end of the show, and Craig is just laryngitis has kicked.
I don't know. I'm muted. I guess I accidentally muted my mic. I didn't realize it.
Well, what happened? I was talking, and you meant to mute your ear set. You didn't hear me just ramble on there.
Right. I did hear you ramble on, and I did agree with that. Okay. I don't know how I muted my mic, but it is. You're right. We're coming up on an hour. It is Tuesday night. I hope you learned something tonight. I hope maybe you found the tile of your dreams. If we're proud to. We're not sponsored by TileBar, but we love TileBar because that's just the team we're a part of, and we think we're the best in the nation. So hopefully you saw something and you want to buy it, and tell them John sent you.
If I can help you, please reach out. Any of my social channels, Craig's social channels, just drop us a message right here live and wherever you're watching. Send us a private message, public message, send us a postcard, wherever you are. Not a problem. So this is the Tile Happy Hour. You usually see us Tuesday nights here in the US of A and around the globe. We love to talk tile. We love to share all our knowledge with you, and always reach out if you have a question or need help. So this is John Tedisco, and I'd like to wish you guys peace, health, and happiness.
And let's always keep learning together and tile the world.